Welcome back to The Long Way Home. I'm your host, Josh Bearheart Hawk, and today we're going to be talking about video games, specifically Minecraft. We'll dive into some other things, but I've been thinking a lot lately about this. As a middle-aged guy, I'm considered middle-aged. I'm in my late 30s. It seems weird that I would like to play Minecraft. And honestly, for a lot of people, it would seem weird that I like to play video games at all. Now, I don't think it's quite as big of a thing as it used to be, as far as people playing video games is more normalized now, and even adults playing video games is more normalized now. But that wasn't always the case. You know, when I was growing up in the 90s, we had a smaller selection of games, but we still had games. Well, I played games like Doom, Doom 2, Wacky Wheels, Duke Nukem. Before that, at some point around there, we had a Sega Genesis, and we would play Aladdin and The Lion King, and then other games, some of the fun games that were out on there. And as I've watched games evolve over time, as I've grown older, I've found that, back then, games were very much a child thing. Children played games. Adults didn't play games. If adults played games, it was because they were lazy or, there was something wrong with them. But as we've gone through time, and I think especially as my generation has grown older, video games have become more mainstream and have become more acceptable for people. So when I say that I play Minecraft, sometimes people will look at me a little weird. They're like, "Aren't you a little old for that?" Other times I'll get people that play as well, and they're like, "Oh, that's really cool. What version do you play? Java or Bedrock?" But it's one of those things where, why is it still seen as a game for children? I streamed Minecraft last year for a few months. I put some Minecraft videos out on my channel, and children are the ones coming to watch those videos, which is part of the reason why I stopped uploading them and stopped playing on stream and that kind of thing, because I was getting an audience, a much younger audience than I was looking for the kind of content that I make. And I was like, this isn't really great, and especially because there's been so many big scandals and stuff over the past few years with Minecraft content creators, typically younger Minecraft content creators, because most of them are younger. And if you're older and you create Minecraft content, you're seen as a creep. You're seen as weird. I got comments from people that thought that I was, some kind of a creep because I was playing Minecraft on stream, and I'm in my, I'm an older guy. So it's still frowned upon. It's still looked down upon, and I want to say it's because a lot of kids play, but honestly, there's a lot of adults that play too. So what's the deal? For me, Minecraft is a game where I can sit there and I can relax. I can listen to something. I can watch the news, or I can have some YouTube videos on in the background, and I can just build and let my creativity flow. And I think for a lot of people, that's the same way. It's one of those deals where Minecraft, unlike a lot of other games, it's so widespread. You can kind of do whatever you want. If you like building, you can build. If you like exploring, you can explore. If you like killing monsters, you can do that. You can go all the way through and kill the dragon and try to complete the game. Whatever you want to do, you can do. And other games in the past that I've played have never been that open. I've played open games, The Sims or SimCity type of those kind of games. But a lot of the games that I played growing up were games like Metal Gear Solid or Spyro. And I love Spyro the Dragon. It was a lot of fun. It's still a lot of fun as an adult. For me, video games have had a huge impact on my life from that standpoint. And Minecraft specifically, even though it didn't come out until I was already in my 30s almost. It really became popular about the time that I turned 30. And it was one of those things where I was like, okay, I like this game, but a lot of kids are playing it. And so I had to kind of grapple with, is it okay to like this game? Is it okay to play Minecraft? And so I use it as a creative outlet, and I use it to kind of have fun and build different things and play. I play with my kids sometimes. My wife and I play together. And it's frustrating to me to have gaming in general be looked at as a kid thing. Why can't it be an adult thing? Why is it that when we grow up When we become adults, we are supposed to stop playing. We're supposed to stop creating. I get told all the time as an author, as a creative trying to make my way in a creative space, that I need to grow up, that I'm daydreaming. That's not a real career. I still hear that from time to time. And it's such a weird thing, because wouldn't it make more sense that we would encourage people to be creative, that we would encourage those things? People love movies, people love books, people love video games. And video games is another creative field. Why don't we encourage people to do that and to play and to have fun? As an adult, you're supposed to have all these responsibilities. You're supposed to do all of these things, go out and socialize and do adult things. You're supposed to work in an office, and you're not supposed to have any fun outside of what's considered "quote unquote" adult fun. you know, and that typically involves like drinking, which I don't drink. So why would I want to do any of that? My idea of fun for me personally is sitting at home on a Friday night, playing some Minecraft, drinking some coffee and or pop or something, and watching a YouTube video or watching some news or whatever. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, but I find it funny that we still, as a society, look at video games the way that we do. In the 90s, it was seen as if you played video games, you were probably violent. My mom hated video games. She still let us play, and she opened up a little bit, but we still were limited on time. We were only allowed to play for 30 minutes a week or an hour a week, depending on the week. And that time was very, very strictly adhered to the point where, like, I would do anything I could to try to be home alone so that I could play more video games because I wasn't allowed to play. It was kind of ridiculous, and I don't have those same restrictions on my kids because I want to encourage them to be creative. I want to encourage them to do things, have fun, learn how to relax. For a lot of people, especially adults, I think they have trouble relaxing. There's so many people I know, they will give themselves responsibilities above and beyond what you should really have to do as an adult. And yeah, sometimes you have it where, maybe your kids like to do specific activities, and so you're going to get them to those activities, you're going to do that kind of thing. But then they'll give themselves other things to do that you really don't have to do. Certain errands that maybe could wait, or certain stuff at the grocery store. You don't need to make one big trip to the grocery store and take 3 hours shopping every single week. People do some of the craziest stuff, and I'm like, why do we do this as adults? And then when you tell people that you play video games, it's like, oh, you play video games? That's kind of a childish thing, isn't it? I'm like, no, it's not. It's something that gives you the freedom to relax. It gives you some control over your environment. That's one of the biggest things I love about Minecraft. I can control what happens within the game. I can build whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. It's a free form to do anything. The possibilities are nearly endless. And I think more people should be encouraged to play video games. More people. We should normalize this stuff because right now, I mean, people get so worked up and so angry at each other. And I think if people played video games, certain games, obviously there's games that there are people that get really pissed off playing video games, but those are the kind of people that you don't want to be around anyway because they get angry about every little thing. So yeah, for me, I think that gaming is important. Gaming is something that we should encourage people to do. It's something we should do more often, even as adults. Let yourself go out. If you don't have a gaming system, if you're an adult with a full-time job and you don't have a gaming system to kind of relax on, go get a gaming system. Try out some of these games. Find ways to relax. Set aside time. Make it a priority to set aside time to relax, to play games, to have a little bit of fun, blow off some steam. Maybe do that instead of going out drinking on Friday night, because that's not any more adult. I mean, how many people go out drinking and wind up with a lampshade on their head or doing something stupid, So, like, do something a little bit more. Stay in, play some video games. I think that's more of an adult thing to do than going out partying. And I think that I don't think there's anything wrong with playing video games either. I think it's something that it's been more normalized as society, but it's still kind of uh I'm trying to think of the right word. It's something that like is still kind of frowned upon by most people, outwardly. Now, if you find out that somebody else is a fellow gamer, that changes things, but it's always a risk. Do you tell, especially like maybe you have an employer that's kind of a stick in the mud. And if you tell them that you're a gamer, maybe they'll be more of a stick in the mud. If you don't tell, or maybe they play games and now you have something in common and they're not so much of a stick in the mud anymore. Gaming can bring people together. It can give you something to do and something to have fun. And it's something I wanted to talk about because I think it's really important. And especially, really Minecraft as a whole is what I wanted to kind of cover a little bit because for me, it's one of those games that I didn't grow up with like a lot of people, but I enjoy it. It gives me pleasure. It's something I enjoy doing. It's something I enjoy playing. I've enjoyed playing it for years, and I don't think it's right to judge me for playing Minecraft. It's just something I wanted to talk about, something I wanted to get out there because it's been something on my mind. Video games in general, gaming, um, how games have shaped me growing up. Because I'm a different person. I think I'm a better person for playing games. For the games that I did play as a kid, some of the best memories that I have are of playing games with my brothers or even playing by myself. There was a New Year's Eve that I stayed home. Everybody else went to a New Year's Eve party, and I was like, I don't feel like going. I was like, I don't feel well. I made up that I didn't feel well so that I could stay home. And I played Metal Gear Solid until after midnight. I would play Gran Turismo and try to get all the licenses in the game. Back in the PlayStation days, Gran Turismo 1 and 2. Like, those are some of the things that really shaped me as a person as I grew older that allowed me to express myself in new ways and kind of, if I would have been more creative, if I would have been more into gaming earlier on, I think I might have started writing earlier. I did some writing when I was younger, but I never really got serious about it. And I always fell for the idea that you have to do certain things to be an adult. And once you become an adult, video games are no longer okay. Cartoons are no longer okay. Those things are for children. You shouldn't do those. You shouldn't. That's all for kids. Come over to the adult table. And when I was a teenager, being at the adult table was a big deal. I was like, I want to be an adult. Now that I'm an adult, I'm like, screw this. I want to be a kid. And partially, obviously, I've got bills, and that's the sucky part about being an adult is having bills to pay. But like it's just the responsibilities and do we sometimes give ourselves too much responsibility? Do we sometimes try too hard to be adults? And it's a question that I don't necessarily have the answer to. I know for me, I am happier overall, kind of pushing some of those responsibilities off and saying, this isn't me. I don't care about this. I want to do something different. I want to do my own thing. And we'll see how things go in the future. Can't guarantee that I'll be successful at what I'm doing necessarily, but if I'm having fun doing it, I mean, really, is it anybody else's business? Does it affect anybody else's life if I'm doing what I enjoy? And at the end of the day, maybe that's where we should all be is doing what we enjoy and being happy with our lives. Because I bet you there's people out there, maybe even listening to this podcast right now, that aren't happy with their lives, but are nervous to admit it. They don't want people to know that they're not happy with their lives, so they'll put on a face and they'll pretend and they'll act like they're happy, but really they envy the kind of person that can play video games on a weekend or even through the week, taking off days of work. I've done that before, where I took vacation to play a video game when it came out. Like, nothing wrong with that at all. But there's people that are too nervous to do that. There's people that are like, oh, if I do that, then people are going to make fun of me. They're going to look down on me as a fun. No, normalize it. And be more comfortable in your own skin. Tell other people, hey, I'm not affecting you any. It doesn't matter. One of the sayings that I actually kind of like, I've seen recently being used a lot, and it's don't make other people's, what is it? Don't make other people's like your yuck or something along those lines. Basically, it's saying that just because somebody else likes something doesn't mean that you have to downplay it or talk shit about it. Just because it's not your thing. And that's true for everything. And I think if we could all be more comfortable in our own skin, if we could all sit back and say, yeah, you know what? I like what I'm doing, and I'm going to keep doing it, and I'm going to enjoy it, regardless of what other people say. I want to play video games. I'm going to do that. I want to write. I'm going to do that. I want to make movies or YouTube videos or, as long as you're not hurting anybody else, you should be able to do whatever you want. As long as you're not bringing harm to other people, you should be able to do whatever you want. That's part of freedom. That's part of life and enjoying life. So that's really all I wanted to talk about with this. I've had some video in the background, some Minecraft video of my Minecraft world. If you made it this far in the video and you want to see more of that, let me know. I wouldn't mind putting out some Minecraft videos in some way, shape, or form. If there's interest out there and people that actually want to see that, maybe you're an adult that plays Minecraft. Hell, maybe you're a kid that plays Minecraft. If there's interest in my Minecraft world, I would be willing to put that up over on Patreon as a download. If there's interest in it, you just have to let me know. It's Java, Minecraft Java, so that's something. But that's all I got for this one. I do want to thank you all for listening. I've got other topics coming up down the road. I've got some things in the works and some other projects that I might be introducing at some point in the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that. I've been trying to make this a weekly podcast. I don't always get it out every single week, but it's a Friday morning thing, and it's usually a few days early, if not a week early on Patreon and on the website. So if that's something you're interested in, you can go over there and check those things out. Otherwise, you can just listen to it when it comes out live on Friday mornings. So thank you all for listening. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.